And we will yell about sports and stuff. Let's yell about sports and stuff. Let's yell. All right.
I figured just to do something. I love that song.
I appreciate that. Any
really
backup
is.
is always appreciated.
Gets better every week.
Josh is usually the one running this, but he's not here. But he did submit some questions for us to yell about.
Of course he did.
The first one is one that's been bubbling up. We've seen a lot of social media talk about this. Folks outside the company have been talking about it. I'm curious if folks inside the company have been talking about it. The question is, should Baker Mayfield be the next great FCF quarterback?
Raymond, what do you think?
Mish.
It's funny you said that because me and Grant was in Miami and we met up with Michael Vick and just to hang out and stuff. And I was like, man, we were done with him. I was like, dude, we're just not gonna get. It's gonna be hard to come up with guys like the Johnnies and the Michael Vicks, and he was like, nope, there'll be someone to come around. And I was like, nah, man. And then this happens. I'm like, hey, dude, like, yo,
asking you shall receive.
And it's listen, it's not saying that Baker Mayfield's career is over or anything like that. It's saying he has this type of attitudes and the ability to say, hey, look, you can recreate yourself. You could, if football is over or whatever, there's other places for you to do other things at. And I think that like he's got that. He will always be a college like god to most.
Yeah, 100%.
I've been to places.
Yeah,
I've been to places with Johnny, man, and it is crazy that I could. Yeah. Him walking around is just got to be. I can only imagine. And Baker Mayfield's the same way, man. I played football in Lawton, Oklahoma. So it's a very Oklahoma itself it's not a big. So when they get around someone, OU and all that, he'll be a legend forever. So I think so. I would love him to be here.
He has that other aspect that is great for FCF. We are a personality league, right? And dude, his commercials are epic. Yeah. Some of the best commercials of any NFL, former or current. And so I think his personality would fit into the league really well. I mean, he feels like he would be somebody that would embrace that layer that FCF does way better than the NFL, which is access to the fans and interaction and personality and all that stuff.
Man, regardless how many years he plays in the NFL, man, he'll have a better life after if he does it right. And that's, him leveraging his brand and his name. Like people can try to, cut him off and like, oh, he was this. Them are the true NFL fans, right? But the true football and people they're gonna go, you know what, dude, he was an amazing player here and he did this. And just like the same, no different from Johnny to me.
Yeah. I agree.
That's just my opinion.
Well, how do you think he's going to do in LA, right?
I will always say this. Depending on where you go, it's really about the actual the playbook. Like when you come in, what like if I'm a safety and I go into a place that plays a lot of man coverage, then that means I'm going to be in the back a lot. Or if there's a zone coverage guy, then I know that I'm gonna be able to move around with. It all depends on what type of can he fit into that system? Can he fit into that system? He did. If you think about some of the quarterbacks that are like elite, they can go from system to system to system, but those who just like can only run one system, that's difficult. And it's just really going to all depend on what type of system. Can he fit in that system that they have? That's just my opinion.
That position is just wild to me. I mean, at every level, but the guys that can do it on the highest level, there's 10 or 12 guys at any given moment in the world that can run an offense like that.
There's not that many great quarterbacks in anywhere.
No, that's what I'm saying. 10 guys in the world, right? 12.
So that's the hardest position to fit. I'm not saying physically. I think defensive back is. I'm just going to say that cornerback.
Of course.
But I think as an athlete, the quarterback position is from what all they need to know and do, it is probably the number one position.
Well, I mean, as a 49er fan right now, I agree with you wholeheartedly. We're going to be rocking into our playoff run with Brock Purdy, who,
yes, you are.
I'm going to be crossing my fingers, and he looked nice last week, but he's a rookie. He looked nice at Iowa State, but he was Mr. Irrelevant in the draft. And I look at him, and I'm hoping for the best, but I'm also like, man, DeAndre Francois could be a 49er.
Yeah, you're damn right he could.
You know what I'm saying?
Easily, bro.
I hope for a Cinderella story there. I want to touch on three things that Ray said, which were all really interesting to me. The first one was when you said DBs are the most physically demanding. I think that's right. I've never seen a quarterback. I've never seen Baker Mayfield try and back up Dwight Howard. So agree with you there. Second of all, you casually dropped that you were just hanging out with Michael Vick. I'm not asking you to divulge business things that are under NDA or not for public knowledge, but what was that like? What's the dude like? What was the conversation like?
Bro,
what did you cover off on?
It was hilarious. He was great. First of all, straight up, loves what we were doing. And when I can say the biggest miscommunication, because I think everybody remembers there was a part he was supposed to come and come, and there was a big write up like, oh, he's scared to play. That is not what happened. So, and I think that's so crazy when you think about social media and everything works. People just so instantly like start pointing daggers, and you're like, dude, get the whole story first. And so I didn't know the whole story. So when Grant did, so when I'm sitting here listening to it, I'm like, holy, like, though he was great. He had his son with him, man. And
cool.
He loved what we were doing. He's dedicated to what he's doing with Fox. He loves, like, he could tell he's into the broadcast.
I bet
you can feel it. Like like out of that and golf. That and golf is that was it. That's all we talked about. And it was cool. And it was to be in Miami with him was kind of cool, because he was just like, man, I can walk around and just be me, and it's just it's just me. I'm just taking people's money off the golf course, man. And so it was really cool. It was cool.
And thank you for that. And the third thing, when you said you've been places with Johnny, I have to tell you this quick story about Johnny and me last season. Well, so he, like, everywhere, right? People are taking pictures of him. Like, some people approach him, some people don't. So anyway, this past season in Atlanta, I flew in really late. I think I landed 11:30 midnight. I have a guy there holding his sign that says Patrick D's, and he's also waiting for Johnny, but Johnny's already gotten there. So he's just standing with Johnny. And so Johnny's on the phone or whatever. And we start walking, and a crowd kind of starts gathering behind us. And just like, people are taking pictures, and people like want to come up or whatever, but nobody has, but there's a lot of attention around Johnny, and the driver has no idea who either of us are. And he's like, all right, so level with me. Like, you're kind of a big deal, right? And he says it to me. And I'm like, my friend, I am not the one they're interested at all. It was pretty great.
You should be like, yep. I don't know who this guy is.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
And Johnny just leaned into it. Like, no, it's him. It's him.
All right. So question 2, and let's yell about sports and stuff. Who do you like for the Heisman Trophy? Of course, we got the 4 finalists that were announced. USC's Caleb Williams, Ohio State's CJ Stroud, TCU's Max Duggan, and Georgia's Stetson Bennett, all of whom passed the Ray Austin awesome name test. I mean, those are all awesome names.
Every
wrong. Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Every name.
Bennett? Are you joking me? Come on.
Stetson Bennett. CJ Stroud.
Stroud in the chat.
Every single one of them.
Not, it's in the chat.
Boykin
to
for MVP says CJ Stroud. Yes. Caleb Williams is by Peanut FCF. Fred Airmail Williams for the numbers.
That's what I'm thinking. I mean,
CJ Stroud to me is.
What do you think, CJ Stroud?
I love him. I love the way he plays. I love.
But they got crushed by Michigan, right?
Yeah. I mean, we're talking about him specifically as a player, not the whole team. And I think he's gonna have a strong rookie season. I'm gonna just be honest though, and I'm not being. This is not. There might be a little bit of in me in there, selfishness. But how does Hendon Hooker not even in that conversation? Yes, he tore his ACL, and yes, we go from 1 to 7 or whatever. But people got to remember, Tennessee was at like 13. They wasn't even talked about. Yeah. We weren't even thinking about number 1. We were just as a as an organization, they were just hoping that we were like get back to where we used to be. We go all the way to number one, and then we, screw that up and then go back. But like, how does Hendon Hooker, with the amount of plays and the offense that he had, not even like that was like crushing, man. I was just like,
yeah,
that was bad. But anyway, that CJ Stroud is my pick.
Jeffrey, who are you feeling?
Well, I actually think that kid from TCU it might win it. It feels like it's not an obvious choice this year. Most years, you're just like, I know who's going to win. I think Caleb Williams certainly has the stats.
Yeah,
as Peanut was saying, or somebody Freddie or was saying. But he's the only one of the four that's not in the playoffs, right? So
yeah,
that kind of feels like it hurts him. And man, watching Duggan run against Kansas State was like, come on. He basically won the game by himself.
Yeah.
So,
I almost exclusively followed the TCU through friend of the show, Liv Moods' social media and her little horn. Yeah. Well, I will say, as a guy who doesn't follow college ball as closely as I used to, Caleb Williams is a name who has broken through the noise. Like genuinely, like again, not even being close to it. You hear about Caleb Williams all the time. Yep. That game where he was a hamstring that he came back and threw for like 360, 380, came back. I mean, like, and he's rushed for like 400 something yards this season, 4,000 yards. Like again, he's a guy who seems to have broken through the noise, which I think plays a factor. It plays a role in the voting, right? You know what I mean? I think that to some degree it is like, And so like my vote's on Caleb, and not because of anything else. So he seems to stick out from somebody who's not dialed into that on a day to day.
And I think that's the one thing. That's the one thing about college football. I think that's why I still really watch it still, because it's still, there's almost these stories that are still being made. And like you just said, man, he played on that hamstring, man. Like that tells his story at the end of the day. Like that shows you how hungry and how hard that boy works, man. So that's what I like. That's why I like. I mean, that's just me. I like college and NFL, but
SC has also got that like that marquee, that like,
of course,
the Heisman
100%,
which is TCU doesn't really have. So I don't know. It's going to be interesting. I feel like it's a more open question this year than most years. Most years it feels like it's kind of a foregone conclusion who's going to win. But
it'll be
exciting question. All right, next one of the let's yell about sports and stuff. This is fun. What FCF players would make the best soccer players? Of course, the world is watching the World Cup right now. A lot of soccer on the mind. What FCF? I'm going to start it off, and I'm just going to say our supposed guest Bryson Aline would make a killer soccer player.
Of course, that was your number one.
Amazing. He's got speed. The way that dude can cut and leave you in your shoes. Like he's small. He's compact. He's strong. I saw him do a backflip in a room where the ceiling was.
Yes, you did. We were in awe. Yeah, I could see it. All right, so that's a good call.
I would say T.O.
Oh well,
that's
a
goalie. As a goalie.
Let me paint you a picture, right?
Size.
So we're on the last penalty kick. It's 0-0. It's coming down to one penalty kick. T.O.'s in the goal, and we've got James Harden. Kicking for the final goal. Scores on T.O. and walks away a world champion. I mean, to me, James Harden is the epitome of, like, I think would thrive as I think that guy literally could build widgets and be one of the best widget makers in the goddamn world, because he's going to work harder than anybody on the planet. But I think, like, again, I think to Jeff's point, he's compact, he's lightning. He's raced a goddamn horse. He raced a horse, Jeffrey.
Yeah.
I don't know. To me, I think James Harden.
I'm literally going blank on the running back. I'm the beast running back. Oh my goodness, what am I going blank? Why am I going blank? Play with the Giants. God damn. What?
You're gonna make us all feel bad.
Burgess. Are you kidding me?
Are
you kidding me?
Yeah.
Burgess.
Yeah.
Him running with the ball down and doing a header.
Like, he needs to play rugby, not soccer. I think he'd get red carded out of the game. Like some guy fall down and break his leg. It's like
I would have Cecil Cherry, Burgess.
Amazing.
Freddie Airmail with a show name. He raced a horse, Jeffrey.
What about Quantez? What about Quantez Stiggers? He played.
I would say Tredante Hill before Quantez.
Right.
I'd say Tredante.
What about Jamil? What about AJ?
AJ, absolutely. Oh, I can see him sliding. I can totally see him sliding on his knees.
Could run all. Yeah, exactly. Scores the goals.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I can see it. We got Boykin for MVP in the chat says Slick Nick is good at kicking.
He is.
Which is a prerequisite.
I bet if you asked Slick Nick, he'd tell you he could play soccer. You know what I mean?
Start at any position. BC Lion says Johnny Football would avoid the tackles in soccer, I'd say. Which is very good, BC. It's very good.
I believe if Manziel was playing soccer, he would be the guy in the best shoes. That's for sure.
Yeah, of course.
Totally fire Cleese.
Wait, have you guys ever heard of the Airbirds shoes?
I'm not a shoe guy.
I'm starting to be a shoe guy. I'm Googling now right after a long
no. This is what T.O. played in.
Oh.
The shoes that he wore.
Allbirds.
Allbirds, or is it Airbirds? Allbirds. I think it's.
I don't know. Okay, go ahead. Tell me about him.
But that's the shoe that he wore during the games. Yeah, when you see the shoe, I was gonna
ask Jim. Jim would know. Jim's like a total sneakerhead, isn't he?
Well, I don't.
Let us know.
They're not even like sneakerhead type shoes though.
No, okay. I don't know anything.
Yeah, like you go to the north side of Chicago, you see an Allbirds, store, and I was like, wait, what are these? So yeah, check them out, Allbirds. Yeah.
Did you enjoy that video for fan-controlled sports and entertainment? Of course you did. What was it? I have no idea. This is a stock end card on YouTube. Subscribe to the channel, watch all of our other videos, comment, like, subscribe, but make sure you don't smash the like button. Use a reasonable amount of pressure. And as always, power to the fans.